Welcome back everyone, and for today's report we'll be looking at SCP-882, Object Class Euclid, the Machine. SCP-882 appears to be a random assembly of gears, cables, pulleys, screws and belts, all made of an amalgam of various metals. Object size at time of recovery was approximately 87 cubic meters. Current size is approximately 12 cubic meters. SCP-882 rusts quickly in seawater. No identifiable energy source has been found, but all components will begin to move if not coated in rust. SCP-882 is completely silent at all times, no matter what level of activity SCP-882 reaches. Any metal touching the object will become permanently affixed to it and, over a period of a few days, becomes a new part of the object. Organic matter remains unaffected. SCP-882 is extremely resilient, with tensile strength and toughness above those of aircraft-grade titanium alloy by weight. Even though its composition appears to be a random alloy of iron, tin, gold, and other metals, some as of yet unidentified. Extreme focused heat must be applied over several hours to cut even a small portion free of the main assembly. Persons remaining in the vicinity of the object for prolonged periods have developed auditory hallucinations while near the object. Mainly the sound of grinding and clicking. The sound intensifies and is abated only by throwing metal into the object. Subjects in advanced states of psychosis have indeed thrown themselves into the object, resulting in almost instant death by crushing. The body is often drawn in and impossible to recover. SCP-882 was recovered from a location at the northeast coast of Banks Island. Area was barren of all metal and metallic core in a 1-mile radius. SCP-882 was found at the geometric center of the area. SCP-882 had become submerged in seawater at the time of recovery, and a small town was found nearby, abandoned for several years. SCP-882 was removed and shortly started to flake off rust, causing the varied parts to begin motion. After several accidents, Dr. Gears authorized SCP-2519 to be played on loop, which successfully reduced the object's motion, enabling safe access. SCP-882 was then cut down and contained on site. Please note, SCP-882 is not to be brought into the vicinity of SCP-271, or any subject possibly contaminated by SCP-217. Special Containment Procedures. Listen up. SCP-882 is to be kept in a fluid environment at all times, consisting of no less than 40% seawater. Object is to be kept suspended by non-metallic means, currently cotton fiber line that is to be changed daily. Object is also to be checked daily for any signs of rust flaking. If any part of SCP-882 appears uncoated with rust, it must immediately be immersed in 100% seawater solution. Water must be taken directly from the ocean, reduced concentration only when the object is again coated in rust. No metal may be placed in containment area. Only organic materials are allowed in containment area, and any contact with SCP-882 requires the use of thick cotton gloves. Any metal making contact with it is to be heat severed, melted down, and kept immersed in 100% seawater in a separate area. Any auditory issues reported by staff must then be reported immediately, and affected personnel must submit to a full psychological examination and, depending on results, either transfer to another facility or permanent containment at. Addendum for SCP-882-1. Addendum for SCP-882. The following is an interview which took place between Richard Wright and Dr. Gears on Richard Wright was identified as a survivor from the small community near the initial recovery location of SCP-882. Begin audio log. Please, take a seat. State your name for the record, please. Richard Logan Wright, but everyone calls me Rich. Excellent, thank you. Mr. Wright, do you recall the date when you first saw the object in question? God, when was it? I'm not really sure. It was a while ago. Alan found it first, wrecked his boat on it. He told a few of the other fellas about it and said that they could sell it for a bundle of scrap. We all thought it was a chunk off a jet or a cargo ship. And at what point did the device start operating? I think the next day. Damn thing shook off rust like a dog with fleas, started spinning slow, then sped up. By the time I saw it, it was really running. Jimmy tried to get closer, try and see what was powering it, or why it was so quiet, but he slipped. Got a bad cut over his eye, and then got the hell out of there. Alan seemed kinda off, kept asking us if we were hearing anything. Miss Parker thought part of it was gold, even tried to jam part of it with a pipe to get at it. That pipe stuck fast and smacked her a good one when the gear it was on spun around. After that, people mostly kept away. Were there any other incidents of people being injured or hearing noises? Not at first, that's the thing. It was so damn quiet, everyone kind of forgot about it for a while. Alan was keeping it in an old storeroom by the dock and nobody really went out there much. He started looking bad though, said he couldn't sleep, that he kept hearing that thing grind away. Father Pat started dropping by, tried to talk to him, told him to get rid of it, and he was gone for a couple of days. Then suddenly the two of them turn up together, happy as clams. Mr. Wright. Yeah, no, I'm fine, sorry. So Father Pat and old Alan show up, fresh as daisies, say they've got the thing figured out. I wasn't paying that much attention. This whole thing really quite had me spooked. I've been hearing stuff from the storeroom, grinding and squealing, really quiet. Anyway, they said that some damn thing about it being from somewhere else, that God made it, and that was it for me. I left. And did you believe them? What? That it was from God? No, I don't know. I didn't really know what to think. This damn machine kept spinning away, no power to it, and eating metal too. That pole Miss Parker hit it with, it turned it into a giant screw shaft. Just looked like it had always been there. More people started getting interested, starting listening to Alan and Father Pat, and told everyone to bring metal to it, told them the gears were the voice of God, that it grew louder as we turned away and softer as we brought it offerings. And did you bring any metal to it as well, or spend any extended period of time near the object? The hell does that matter? You could hear this thing all over town. Gotta be folks couldn't even sleep, just clanking, grinding, screaming at all hours of the night. Giving it metal helped. God damn it, I didn't want to. I know it wasn't God, I never said it was. Everyone else was falling over themselves to make Alan and Father Pat happy. I just wanted some damn sleep. There's not a goddamn thing wrong with that. Sir, I will request that you calm yourself. I'm asking questions, not accusing. Please return to your seat. Look, I'm sorry. Over a couple of weeks, everything got fed to that thing. It was just how things were. We were pretty isolated, you know. It's not like we had much else. You just make a couple trips out to that storehouse and just toss any metal you happen to find in. Always seemed to be people there, just watching it. It tore a hole in the roof after a while. Father Pat started getting strange though, telling us that it wasn't enough. I think the noise was getting to him personally. He said that it needed something more meaningful. Mr. Wright? I came in one night because I heard people shouting from the storehouse. Father Pat was leading a prayer to this thing, but it didn't sound like any prayer I knew. People were coming up and he bent over them. They screamed and then he turned to that big mass of metal. I thought he was giving communion until I saw the pliers in his hand. I'm sorry, pliers? He was yanking out people's fillings. He was pulling out their teeth and feeding them to that thing. He started screaming about it not being enough, that it needed more, but there wasn't any more. There was barely any metal left anywhere. Then he pointed at Alan. He said he was hiding metal from the great machine. Alan screamed that he didn't have anything, and Father Pat said he had a metal joint in his hip. Everyone got up at once, and my God, they just grabbed him. Everyone just grabbed him. He started screaming. He kept screaming, and nobody cared. I saw his arm go in, saw all of his fingers break and pull the rest of his arm in, and I ran. What could I do? Jesus, I couldn't stop it. There were too many, and that thing was screaming, and Alan was screaming, and Father Pat. This interview is concluded. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Security, please see Mr. Wright out. End log. Closing statement. Mr. Wright attempted suicide shortly after the interview. Subject is currently being held on suicide watch and for observation. And that is the end of today's report on SCP-882. Exactly what the Great Machine is, we have yet to conclude at the SCP Foundation. If you have any relevant insights, please do leave them down below. As always, it's been a pleasure, and until the next reports, I've been Mr. H.